Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the final of the women's Hong Kong Sevens, New Zealand versus Australia. It's becoming a bit of a trend that these two sides of the Trans-Tasman do battle in the final each and every seven circuit, but it is going to be an exciting one nonetheless. With the Kiwis, in the starting lineup, they have gone with Setha Hirini, Stacey Waka, Georgia Miller, Michaela Blyde, Kelly Brazier, Tyler Nathan Wong, and Sheree Kaka. Now, I should mention that these Kiwi ladies, they have scored a lot of points throughout this seven circuit so far, including having multiple occasions where they have kept their opposition to nil, and they are also on almost a 30-match winning streak as well, I should mention. But New Zealand, that is their side. Australia, Soraya Paki, Madison and Tegan Levi, Caslick, Madison Ashby, Faith Nathan, and Tarita in the starting lineup. But that is going to be the kickoff now, ladies and gentlemen, in the final for the women is underway. I believe that was a knock-on from New Zealand straight away there. In fact, they've called a knock-on against the Australians. So, going to be a double knock-on, and New Zealand have now got themselves the scrum feed. Probably a little bit lucky. I thought there was a knock-on from New Zealand straight off the bat. Tyler Nathan Wong about to feed the ball in now for the Kiwis. What's the odds, says Kerr? I believe that New Zealand, if I had to guess, I haven't actually seen them for this matchup, but I would say New Zealand are probably $1.50 to $2.50 Australia, something along those lines, just with the winning streak that they are on. And Michaela Blyde almost straight through the gap. Looks for the risky offload, and it does end up sitting up for Charlotte Caslick to be able to steal that ball back. Looked like Kelly Brazier trying to fight for that ball in the breakdown. Rush defense from the Kiwis, but she goes straight through here. Good work from Soraya Paki. Now, Levi back across. Good step there. And a massive fend from Tarita, and she might be straight through. Oh, no, her legs are giving out. Michaela Blyde has wrestled her down almost over the ball. Look to the referee for the penalty. She doesn't receive a wide cutout pass for the Australians. Out to Caslick on the wing. Stacey Waka makes the tackle on her. Bounce pass from the Australians back to the left-hand side. Good flat run there. It's going to be Tarita. She'll have the pace this time. And the Australians strike first in the women's final. Surely Ferns are heavy favourites, says it was Kerr. Although these two sides seem to go a little bit of a seesaw, although more recently New Zealand have been getting the better of it. I believe it was about maybe, I want to say 6 leagues ago that New Zealand had lost to Australia about 3 times in a row. And then from there, the Australians slightly dropped down, but now they're looking very good in this game. Tarita in particular, she started with the line break. She then had that flat run towards the goal line. I hate watching ankles running in slow motion, or lower legs. I feel like at some stage they're just about to snap. Don't know if that's just me or not, but it's gone over from Tegan Levi. They'll make the score now 7-0 in favour of the Australians. Hopefully the scoreboard, it's doing the time. Hopefully it does the score alongside it as well. But Tegan Levi now going to be kicking this one off. Australia playing to win their 14th cup title. Nicely taken by Setha Hirini. Met when she hit the ground. Now, Tyler Nathan Wong goes across now. Georgia Miller, Brazier, one more. Going out wide, Sheree Kaka. Gives it off to Michaela Blyde. Not a lot of space available down the wing. Depends on the ankles, I guess. Says Kerr there as well. True. I know that in the, what's it called? Back in the old days, in one of the wrestling ones, that fella snapped his leg clean in half, didn't he? Which I think put me off looking at ankles when people were jumping, which I don't think I had an interest in beforehand. I didn't go like, oh, look at those ankles when they get off the ground. Anyway, scrum feed. Now, it's going to be Australia who have got themselves the feed here. And let's go to New Zealand girls and Australian girls from Nate. A lot of people excited for this contest. The Kiwis, they will be in action a little bit later on tonight as well in the male side of the draw. That will be New Zealand versus Fiji. Extremely tough matchup, but they'll be kicking off in 30 minutes' time. A lot of pressure there. New Zealand do end up getting themselves the penalty. I've never actually seen this referee before up until this series, so it's kind of, I guess, a little bit surprising that he does get the opportunity to do the final. I knew that they did that in one of the old leagues. I think it was about maybe 3 or 4 leagues ago. They gave the fellow who only had 2 caps the final to referee. But I think the best way of describing this ref, I was a bit harsh on him earlier on saying handsome Squidward. I'd say more like Adam Leal for anyone who knows that referee, except he's been attacked by a pair of scissors. Now Kelly Brazier going back across. Sarah Hirni trying to skip her way through. 3 Australians locked into that breakdown, which I believe would mean that New Zealand now, if they get it out wide, they will have the numbers advantage. Georgia Miller now going across again this time. Sure Kacha in the midfield cuts back actually towards the traffic. Now trying to find the gap. Looks for the offload. Tyler Nathan Wong finds the offload away to Kelly Brazier. Referee seems to be doing a good job getting in the way. Now inside ball. It's going to be knocked on. In fact, it's going to be actually it's play on now. So New Zealand. Oh, the awkward bounce of the ball. Kelly Brazier. Oh, she's been taken without the ball there. It's actually still in the field of play. I believe there might end up being a penalty try for the Kiwis there. The referee going to have to check upstairs now. Emo check, please. He sounds English. This referee and going to be a tackle without the ball there, says Kerr. It was interesting that Brazier decided to go for that one last kick when she was only a metre away. The ball was swirling a little bit to the left, making it tricky. But yeah, I would say that Torres has made a lot of contact there with Kelly Brazier. Tackled the player. Rita Tibor is the comment from the team. I'm not sure what accent that is from her, but penalty try, yellow card sounds like the way that they're going to be going. The question is, did that ball actually go dead in the end, or did it just stay in the field of play? Right, penalty try, double blow of the whistle. Tyler Nathan Wong asking for that yellow card. I think she's just asking the referee here, see whether or not she has to take the kick. Referee says, nope, you're all good. And the score now 7-all between these two sides. And Australia, they are going to be one lady down, and it is Vieni Tarita, the one who was able to score herself the first try of the match for the Australians. Now going to be missing for the rest of half number 1. New Zealand, they will be kicking off this one. Tyler Nathan Wong looking to go high and just traveling the 10 metres. Maddie Levi actually doesn't take that one cleanly. There will be a knock-on advantage against the Australians. Shrey Kaka able to take it down, and they'll go back for a penalty against Charlotte Caslick for being offside. Brazier takes the quick tap. Georgia Miller now charging up the middle. Nice short pass to Tyler Nathan Wong. Goes for the cross kick. Taken nicely by Stacey Waka. And that will be the second try of the match now for the Black Ferns, using the most of the women's advantage that they have got. 6-on-7 at the moment. Aussie, 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 says May. And there as well. And by the way, boss, congrats on 23,000. The Kiwi lads hit the likes. There's Nate. Do appreciate that, mate. We did bring it up on, I want to say it was Fiji, Great Britain, but I'm not sure. To be honest, I think it might have been maybe even the live stream before that. But yeah, growing very well as of late. The Kiwi lads, the amount of live streams that we have got going on each weekend, and we've got plenty more coming in the future. That is for sure. 23K, nice. Says Kerr then. How did Ireland do? Says Connor. So they ended up getting themselves 5th in the end, beating Samoa 19 points to 17. Stacey Waka celebrating there. She has been going by Stacey Waka a lot more lately than Stacey Flula. I don't know if that's anything to do with anything that's happening, or whether that's just because I know when she was in Hamilton, she did it because she wanted to do it for her dad. I'm not sure if her dad's in Hong Kong, though. Maybe because it is the first ever Hong Kong women's one, maybe. And also good stuff, Kiwi lads. There's a Rikavanti stolen there by Georgia Miller. That was a brilliant turnover in the breakdown, although now they've been able to take it back for the Australians. Maddie Ashby now has Charlotte Caslick with her on the left-hand side, breaking the line, going on the outside. It's going to be Faith Nathan now instead, who does try and charge her way after the halfway line. Now, looks like she's saying to go on the inside for Maddie Levi. Breaks through one tackle. She's a hard woman to put down on the ground. They've got numbers. Oh, Tegan Levi hit high by Stacey Waka. Going to be the high shot. Not quite on the mark there. Taking it quickly now for Madison Ashby. Looking off to her left-hand side. Almost going through. They've lured in the defender and looping around the outside. Charlotte Caslick scores the try. With a woman disadvantage, they have been able to get it back to close to equalising at the halfway line. She got married, says Jeff Hughes. Although her new married name is Flula, Stacey Waka was her maiden name. So she's taken away her married name twice or 3 times, I believe, at this stage. So maybe it is just to give a bit of a shout out to her dad, like she did while they were in Hamilton and next day losing in the rugby. Says Connor there, and good score from the girls in gold there. Says Kerr, and this could be a nail biter. Says Nov Mum there as well. Unless plot twist Waka is the new name and Flula was the maiden name, maybe it's the other way around. That's it. It's going to be halftime. The kick unsuccessful. The scoreboard's behind, but it is still slightly the same result, which is 14 points to New Zealand, 12 for Australia. So a very close game that is anyone's to take in the second half. I should mention there is only one more game that will be taking place for the Sevens competition, and that will be the matchup between Fiji and New Zealand. Come on, New Zealand win 5 in a row. Says Pads ablaze. They are currently on quite a nice streak for themselves at the moment. They have won their last 29 matches, I believe it is. Right, the huddles have been done. There is still a bit of rain falling in Hong Kong, which is why, in my prediction, I mentioned for the men's game that Fiji might be at a slight disadvantage. They aren't able to use that offloading game as much as they normally would. But if this game's anything to go by, it's more than likely going to be a high-scoring one. They're playing a little bit of cheer up Sleepy Jean, I believe, a bit of an old school one. We actually had to use, or we used to have to sing that at primary school, I believe. Also about being in a yellow submarine as well. It's a bit of a Beatles medley, I think, was actually the one that they got us to do. 14 points to 12, though. Scoreboard's a little bit wrong. It has been for a majority of the the Hong Kong Sevens. Still people dressed up for the final day of Hong Kong to Nero, I almost said, but I meant to tomorrow, but next week combined. Next week, there's going to be the Singapore Sevens, and that will just be the men, unfortunately. So this is the last time we see the women in action for about 30-something days before they head to Toulouse. Now it's going to be kicked off by Tia Hines. That's back underway. It's gone high. Maddie Levi forces the knock on from New Zealand. They will be going back for it now. Australia will have the first possession of the second half. Scoreboard still is not playing the game, so we will update that ourselves. We'll create our own banner. We'll go that it is NZ sitting on 14 and 12 for Oz. Oh, that's the real score, ladies and gentlemen. They've just mentioned about the fact that New Zealand, the only side to be able to beat them in their last 66 games, is actually Australia. And guess who is in Singapore? Says Kerr, are you going to go to the Singapore Sevens, do you think, Kerr, or will you be busy during that time? Yeah, they think it's half time at the moment on the score sheet. Not quite. Second half has started. 6 minutes to go. If you can get Super Sports, you can watch the quarterfinals, etc. of the Challenge Cup onwards, says Richard. So I think the only way to do Super Sport would be to end up probably to do it. We'd have to sign up for a VPN or use our VPN in that case, and then also pay for a Super Sport subscription, which I know from what a lot of people have said is quite expensive if you are only watching one or two things on it. Brazier goes back across. Georgia Miller using a little bit of the football skills. In fact, it was Serehirni almost there. New Zealand now 5.5 minutes left. They know that they probably need at least 2 or 3 more tries to have a real decent chance of beating this Australian side. Brazier going off to Hirni again. Nice step. Now Brazier charging up the middle. It looks like Tia Hines is going to be well and truly able to keep up with her. But Tyler Nathan Wong running hard inside ball to Stacey Waka. Oh, it's knocked out of her hands by Tegan Levi. In fact, that was Maddie Levi who was able to get it out. They're going to go upstairs. I don't know what they're checking. Maybe to check if it was taken back. And if I can make it, I will. Was there for F1 a few years ago and got a box on the company card. Nice. My poor heart says no, Mum. Right, they're checking this one. I know that this was knocked out of the hands of Stacey Waka before she was able to get the ball down. Say that there was probably about half a metre. Yeah, slapped out of the hand. It's going to be a knock on from Stacey Waka. And the way she hit it out, that is going back to her WAFL days. We've seen the way that she does glide through the air when she goes after the ball. And also, hello, how are you doing? Says pads ablaze. So that will now be a knock on from New Zealand, 5 meters out from the line. Penalty try, says Nate. No, just a knock on from New Zealand in that case. All right. I see that Portia Woodman Whitcliffe now making her way out onto the field. That is the last thing we will see from Stacey Waka in this matchup and actually in this whole competition. That will be what everyone remembers as her final moment. But I'm sure the Kiwis want to get themselves over the try line very soon. My name is Jeff. I said, go Australia. They are only 2 points down, even though the halftime score was 7-7, apparently, even though it was 14-12. But real score down the bottom should be a penalty try and a straight red. There's Kerr. That's a massive push there from the Kiwis. I believe it's going to bounce out onto the side of the Aussies, or at least it should have until the New Zealanders hit them with the counter ruck for about the third time in that breakdown. Now out wide, New Zealand with the numbers, and it's going to be Michaela Blyde. She scores another try in her seventh circuit, and that is going to now make the score 19 points to 12, and slapping ball is legal, says Rickavanti. It is indeed. Unless, of course, you're slapping it forward, then it is considered a deliberate knockdown. But in this case, it was slapped backwards by Maddie Levi. No harm done in that scenario. I'm doing good, thanks. Says Nov Mum there. Great work from Michaela Blyde. There is our pocket rocket. Michaela Blyde, says Nov Mum there. I should mention, after this matchup, there are going to be, well, there is going to be just the one more match. Hey, the scoreboard's updating. It's very good news. My voice is almost disappearing. So, to be honest, if there were another 5 live streams after this, I think the voice would be completely gone. Hopefully it lasts for just the final. There are celebrations in the stands from New Zealand supporters. Only 9 points difference. My thought, or the thoughts in my head, when I read that comment, says no, so New Zealand got the turnover at scrum time. Our wide to Michaela, says Blues, Nate. They've gone just the 10 once again. Maddie Levi does well. Keep the ball in the field of play. She's got the height advantage over a majority of these ladies in the sevens. New Zealand once again able to jump on the ball, though. It seems like it's a little bit too loose from the Australians at times. Now Brazier trying to decide what way to go. The referee has to get out of the way. Now Jasmine Felix Otham goes back across to, it was Serahirni. I think there was a knock on there maybe from Portia Woodman, although I think they are going to say that it will be instead. Yep, they are going for the scrum, in fact. Or are they? No, they're going for the line out. Maybe Portia Woodman Whitcliffe did not get a touch of that. Thrown in by Kaslik, going straight to Maddie Levi. The Australians are nowhere near out of this contest yet. If they can score now, they've still got plenty more time. Passed on the outside from Dominique Dutoy. Made her way off the bench as well. Now short ball to Tegan Levi. We haven't seen her running with the ball in hand so far throughout this match. It's going to be for a high tackle, and the penalty goes the way of the Australians. Ashby takes the quick tap, goes to Kaslik. Now nice step on the inside. Now it's going to be Madison Levi taken down. Nathan Wong getting out of that breakdown just in time. Dominic Dutoy sees the gap, goes on the inside. Here comes Faith Nathan. Bit of pace there. Kelly Brazier. Can she get to her? I don't think she's quite going to. She was behind her the whole way, but wasn't committed to go for that ankle tap. And because of it, the Australians have been able to score. Well, great score, says Kieran. Great stuff. New Zealand, says Rikavani. Oh, the scoreboard's actually updating. We can go like that. We can allow it to show the next try of the match, which was for the Australians. The whole time, Kelly Brazier, she slightly missed her opportunity to make that tackle and then was never quite able to catch back up. Faith Nathan manages to score it. And Aussie says, my name is Jeff, and currently we've got about a minute to go in this contest. Could be getting just that little bit closer. All right, this is an important kick. It's gone high. It's gone away to the left-hand side. Although, to be fair, the kick is still slightly irrelevant because if Australia get themselves a non-converted try, they still win this match with the 1 minute 16 to go. Soraya Paki, deadly one there, says Blues Nate. Here we go. Kicked off by Tia Hines. She got her first kick spot on. Madison Levi charging up, Great take there this time by Seta Hirni. It's taken it 40 metres out from the Kiwis line. I'd like to think that they wouldn't go into their shell yet here, New Zealand. Still need another try to be safe, although they do win the penalty for offside. They will now slow this one down. And oi, oi, oi from May there as well. Last 5 penalties, we've seen 3 against the Aussies, 2 against the Kiwis. Looks like they will take the quick tap. Now, using this ball, Rizzi Pori lane. Goes across now inside ball to Brazier. Georgia Miller just jogging. Now finds her offload to Seta Hirni. Ball on the outside to Stacey Waka. She's back out there due to an injury, but she's gone through. And it's going to be the try this time for New Zealand. And that will seal the deal. The Kiwis will make it a 30-match winning streak. And it is going to be another title in the trophy cabinet for New Zealand. And that step says Kerr. And Oz, oops. There's Nate, a mean side step. Yeah, Stacey Waka, she had been taken off the field. I think she actually came back on for Portia Woodman. And then that step sent Maddie Levi the wrong way. And you could see the frustration. They seem to have an obsession with showing calves zoomed in. And Iwi says was Peter Stow is there. The Black Ferns, that will seal the deal. They will be the gold medal champions of Hong Kong. Question is now, can the men back it up, get themselves the title in their matchup that is not too far away at all? But I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Like I mentioned, Fiji playing New Zealand. That match has taken place in only 14 minutes' time. We are starting in 9 to break down everything to do with the pre-match between the two exciting sides. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, sure leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.